Beat the Line broadcast, UFC Mexico or Mexico City, whatever you want to call it. Moreno versus Erceg. Full card breakdown, bets, and predictions. We're rushing. We're a little late today. People are blaming me. It's really Drav's fault. He gotta work late, and it took it. We're late. It's because of him. Me and Key are professional. We're always on time.
Hey guys, he's lying to you. He's lying to you. Look at his face, man. Me and Key were waiting in the chat. The link was nowhere to be found. But yeah, nice try, Peg.
Gas Packs knows the best. Daz beat the line, reversed CLV on 2 bets so far. I think he's saying, did you guys get reversed or did I get reversed?
No, I think he got reversed. What bets were they?
Yo, Daz, what bets were those you got reversed on? Yeah, 3 separate cappers. That's us 3. Yeah, that's exactly what we are. We're three smart cappers, or we should be. Champs, I appreciate that, brother. Dixon Sider, always glad to have you. What was your early message? He's been here since 10 a.m.
Send it again.
And then he said, I thought Peeps would bet on Erceg and Kelvin. I'm sorry. I think we're gonna go down in both those fights. I know I certainly have a fight on the bet on the main event. Honestly, last week we all did pretty well. I think I made 2 units. Job, how much you make?
2.7.
Okay. Key?
1.5.
Nice. So we all made money. Vucinic inside the distance was disgusting, to say the least. It was a late ad by me. I got fried on it. I don't know what I was thinking.
Why didn't you get the under? The under 2.5 was like the same number, bro.
Yeah, probably should have done that in hindsight. But hey, hindsight's 2020. Betting on a Frenchman, again, my mistake in a fist fight. Look at that turned out. He ended up, I thought he was going to be the one to knock down Nate Woods, honestly. And he cracked him with an elbow at one point. But him getting knocked down wasn't on my slate, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, he has like I don't recall ever seeing Shia getting dropped.
No.
Like, it was kind of crazy, to be honest. Like,
I would have never imagined Wood hurting him.
Yeah, me too. And like hurting him, maybe, but dropping him, like I was shocked, dude.
I bet you Key did. I bet you Key cried when his goat retired.
So
I was
sad.
so happy. Who gave her the belt? Remember when someone gave her the belt and let her run around?
Yeah, she was running around with the mini belt.
Yeah, bro. Thank God.
Yeah, the under was easy money, bro. It was easy sub 1.
I know. It was crazy. I don't know. Thank God we don't have to watch any more of her fights. Let's just get into this card here.
He's not happy with that comment.
Yeah, we'll go fight number 1 we have is Austin Hubbard versus Markel Mederos. Austin Hubbard, 16-8, 33, 5'10", 71-inch reach out of Elevation Fight Team, but I believe he's at Valley Flow now. But I think his Instagram was correct. Markel Mederos, 9-1, 28, 5'10", 69.5-inch reach out of Factory X. I don't know if that's still accurate either because that camp's disbanded, but I know he does train up at altitude in Denver. Odds on these 2 gentlemen, you can get Hubbard anywhere from plus 130 to plus 165. You can get Mederos anywhere from minus 155 to minus 170. Fuck me. All right. So I played the opener on Mederos minus 150. I thought that was going to be a good bet. It was looking great. Mederos at MMA Labs, even better. I love that. That's perfect. So now we know he's on EPO. He's not going to get gassed out or tired in altitude. I think that when you look at Hubbard, he doesn't do anything clean. Nothing's good about his process or anything like that. He's kind of just always in front of you. And if you're going to stand in front of a guy like Mederos, he's going to kick your legs out. He's going to box you up. He's going to piece you up. When you try and shoot in on him, he's going to catch you with a counter. I kind of thought Mederos is a pretty easy spot here, especially at minus 150. Looks like the line's down back that way. I like that for 2 units. I think Mederos wins. Hubbard probably has takedown and wrestling upside. We've seen him take people down before, and Landon was able to get Mederos down, but I'm not really too worried about it here. Mederos knows to get back up. What do you think, Dravy?
Yeah, it's not a fight I'm really passionate about. I was kind of high on Mederos going into the UFC. I think his striking is crisp. I bet him in his debut, but he fought way closer than I expected him to. So that's something I'm not, like someone fighting close like that, because Hubbard's always making fight close himself, and I don't really think we're gonna see a finish here. So if anything, I think go the distance probably a good look, and Nah, it's fucking chalky. I thought it was not chalky like that. So never mind. Yeah, I think at the current price, Mederos is probably the side. But like you said, I think Hubbard is probably going to try to grapple here and make it close. But I think we're looking at a 29-28 type decision. So I don't think laying the chalk is that smart. But I've never been an Austin guy. Like, I know people love to bet him. You make it close with Hernandez, but like, he's not really that impressive anywhere. He does everything okay. He has good cardio and he's tough. So I guess there's that. But there's some money just came in on Hubbard because he was like plus 170 and now he's like down to plus 135. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think betting wise, I don't think I could lay the chalk on Mederos personally, but I do think he's gonna win. You here, Pig?
Oh, are you done? All right, Key, go ahead. You got it. I wasn't sure if you were done or not.
Yeah, I think Mederos gets it done. I bet on Mederos. I believe like it was like minus 170 in his debut. And I thought that he was gonna put on like a really clean performance. But I was chin up in the air. Just wasn't dealing well with pressure. Hubbard's gonna make this, I have to imagine, somewhat of an ugly fight. They're also gonna be at altitude. So I can't count on Mederos over 3 rounds. To one, put on a clean performance, but two, I'm not sure that he won't get melted in round 3, just from Hubbard just being a dog. So I have to imagine Hubbard's going to mix it up and wrestle a little bit or try to. I think Mederos probably looks good for the first 5 minutes, and then we start to see this performance sort of go downhill. I'm not betting on Hubbard because I think that he's an awful winner, but I think this is a pass fight for me.
Yeah, for sure. This guy, Champ, thinks Warren was on autopilot after he got dropped. That's fair.
Yeah.
Paul Dow, what's happening, bro?
I think that's very possible. What's up, Paul?
Paul, we got to catch up. I just did my first BJJ comp last week. We'll catch up about that. Forgot to hit you up. Mederos at MMA Labs.
Oh, you skipped the comments so quick about me being the GOAT. You didn't like that.
I mean, it was fake news. We don't put fake news on our podcast, bro.
You saw that. You skip it right away.
Hubbard always a tough out. I agree. There you go. All 3 of us are GOATs. See, I like that. So much better. What's happening, Liam? Pass fight for gas packs. I don't mind it, even though at minus 150, I don't mind that at all. Valley Flow, Hubbard low level. Yeah, I don't know. He's getting old. He's getting older too. I'm not like super thrilled about Hubbard. He's too hittable also. All right. Next fight. Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Jamal Emmers is 20-8. He's 35, 5'10", 74-inch reach. Gabriel Miranda. Look at that mustache on this guy. He is he's 17-7. He's 35, 5'11", 71-inch reach. Odds on these 2 gentlemen. Jamal's a pretty heavy favorite, anywhere from minus 300 to minus 350. Gabriel Miranda is anywhere from plus 260 to plus 275. Drav, I'll have you go first. I mean, this has got to be a clear Emmers spot, right? Probably early too. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Emmers at big chalk is never a good idea, in my opinion, because the guys always make dumb decision in the cage. You can see he's very skilled. He has like all the tools, but like he's going for like he's trying the heel hood game with Pat Sabatini, man, and stuff like that. And some fights he shouldn't be wrestling. You wrestle. Some fight he should wrestle. He doesn't. I just think sometimes in his head he's not out there in the cage because he has all the tools. Again, I think he's very skilled, but like I can in my head I can imagine this fight. Emmers dropping Miranda on the feet. He hurt him bad, and then instead of welcoming him back to the feet, you follow him to the ground and you get armbar or some shit. I can see that happening so clear in my mind, dude. Like, if Miranda trying to pull guard or some shit, like, is Emmers just gonna stay on the feet or trying to go to the ground? I'm not like, I know the game plan should be to stay on the feet because he's the much better striker, but he might shoot a takedown here to prove a point, because he can get easy takedowns if he wants. Miranda's gonna be happy to play off his back, but one thing about Miranda, though, is like he's a legit BJJ guy. Like, I think he's a 3rd-degree black belt.
Definitely.
So if he gets on your back or some shit, bro, you're in deep shit. So he's not someone I'm really looking forward to fade at this type of price. But he's not that good. Like, he's flaky. His striking is not that. His striking is not all that. He's very hittable. He has bad cardio at elevation. But man, I think if you want to play him, I think sub 1 can make sense. Just the submission prop is not really exciting, but let me see what's the number for like a round 1 submission for him.
I agree with you. I think he's round 1 or bust, to be honest, Gabriel. Yeah. I also could see unders. I don't mind unders. I could see Jamal Emmers finding a finish in the first 7 minutes of this fight as well with a knockout.
For sure. Like yeah, there's under 2.5 lines also at like minus 175 or some shit. So I think that's pretty decent. But Miranda sub 1 is, I have it right there. So yeah, on FanDuel is 12-1. It's not bad.
No,
I think that's probably how you win, because his cardio is not great, and at altitude it's gonna be a mess. But they're fading him to like BSD and Shia in France. That was kind of crazy. So yeah, I think he's live for a sub, but more often than not, Emmers should handle business here.
Dude, under 2.5 at minus 170 on 174 on this book is kind of crazy. 175 Wada.
I think it's decent. It's just that Emmers used to be like a decision merchant, but these last couple of fights, he's finishing or getting finished. So yeah, I think under makes sense.
That's fair. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, Emmers is a weird case. Like, has the tools and skills, but just is a career underachiever in my opinion. Bad decision making, and to be fair, he did probably get a bad decision against Jack Jenkins, but the Nate Landwehr performance was just so confusing. Like, he couldn't take a shot, gassed out super fast, sloppy. I mean, just did not look good at all. And so I have to imagine that he gets it done here. And I do think that he gets it done in round 2, round 3 with a KO. Miranda, to me, isn't a very serious fighter. If he gets on the back, yeah, he's dangerous. But at this level, I don't think he's a UFC level guy. Striking is awful. The cardio is bad. They're going to be at altitude. I think the Miranda kind of self implodes here, as long as Emmers just doesn't make any early mistakes. So Emmers to get done in round 2, round 3 is my prediction.
All right. Take a look at the next fight here. This one's an interesting one, to say the least. Next fight, Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pinchel. Rafa Garcia is 16-4, 30 years old, 5'7", with a 70-inch reach. Vince Pinchel is 14-4. He's 42, 5'10", 72-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Rafa Garcia minus 500 to minus 510. You can get Vince Pinchel anywhere from plus 375 to plus 400. Drav, go first, just because the next fight's a girl fight. I'm going to have Key go first. I mean, the line's got to be wide on Vince Pinchel here, right?
Yeah, I have a very long and deep breakdown for this fight. I think it's a very, very good fight. I'm kidding, bro. I'm watching your face. You're like, wait, what? Nah, bro. To be honest, fuck this fight. I don't even care about it. But yeah, Rafa Garcia is he's in Mexico. He's training with, I think he did train with Gastelum. He's training at altitude, preparing for this fight. And yeah, you should handle business. I mean, Pinchel could compete, but he's 42 years old, dude. And I think he could retire with a loss here. So yeah, Rafa Garcia by decision, but no value on the line.
I was actually just looking. I kind of like, oh, dude, this guy, he's right. I forgot to read comments. We'll go back real quick. Emmers, likely, for sure. Heel hook, playing with fire, takedowns. I don't think that's probably a bad idea. Peggy forgot comments. Here we go. Rafa should get it done. Not interested. Rafa lucky. Jesse Ronson, pass fight. I don't think it's a pass fight. I like Vince Pinchel plus 150 to cover the spread, plus 3.5. I don't see where Rafa Garcia wins every round definitively. Vince Pinchel is a pretty good wrestler. He's pretty good at striking as well. Like, again, he's 42 and he's old, but I feel like he can kind of do everything decently. And Rafa Garcia isn't like this dominant fighter that people think he is. So I just don't get why. I think the money line is wide, but I mean, I don't think Vince Pitchell's going to get finished here. He doesn't really get finished. He's very durable. Plus 3.5, plus 150. That's my bet for this fight. Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, don't care about this fight whatsoever. But I do think that Pinchel probably will outperform this price tag. I'm not looking to get involved. I really don't care at all. But I will say him not getting finished against Bonfim has to matter for something. I don't think the Rafa is that good at all. But I have to assume that he'll obviously have grappling success here. So it's a pass for me. Elevation is just a weird garbage fight.
For sure. Pass fight. Roll J while this one's on. I agree. I should have known Peg was going to be on the spread. Not a bad look. Thank you. As long as he doesn't get finished. I don't think he will. If Bonfim's not finishing him, I don't see Rafa Garcia with his pillow hands and nothing going on. He's not finishing him either. Pretty straightforward for me. What's happening, Fight Talk? Thanks for joining us, bro. Next fight. This is a women's bout. We have probably the smartest women's fighter in the UFC versus Julia Polastri. In this fight, Julia Polastri versus Lupita Godinez. Canadian and Mexican, if you didn't know. Lupi, 12-5, 31, 5'2", 61-inch reach. Julia Polastri, 13-4, 27, 5'2", 63-inch reach. Another hot Brazilian to add to the roster. Odds on these two ladies. Polastri's anywhere from plus 195 to plus 205. You can get Lupi Godinez anywhere from minus 230 to minus 250. Low levels girls fight. You know how we feel about Lupi Godinez. Key, break it down for us.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this low level. I think that Lupi is, I think that she's decent. I think that Polastri has a good future. I think that Lupi gets it done here. I have to imagine that she does have wrestling success. But I will say Polastri is good. Watching her back again, I thought that she was solid even after a Knudsen fight. I think that she could have done more in the McKenna fight, and that is my issue with her. I don't think that she is physical and pressures, but I feel could up the volume and be even more effective. I think that her knees in the clinch are not nasty, but I think that Lupi will be the more physical girl here. I think that she will be able to put Polastri on her back, and Polastri at times doesn't show urgency to get up. Plays off of her back. I think that Lupi can win minutes grinding it out. I think that this price is probably a little wide, honestly, and can't blame anybody on a Polastri dog shot. But I can't count on her to put enough volume out there to consistently win rounds against Lupi. So for me, it's a pass. But I think that this is going to be a really good fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's like this girl Polastri is kind of like a crazy woman. Like the way she attacks people is like vicious. She goes running at people. She doesn't give a fuck about anything. Gets into the clinch, starts hammering people in the clinch, like you said, with the knees. Throws heavy punches. Goes to the ground. Throws up arm bars. Like this girl is relentless, and I think it doesn't really get finished. And for that reason, that's why she's our spread of the week. Spread of the week was plus 3.5, minus 120 on her. I think that's the bet to take. Lupi Godinez doesn't have a good fight IQ. She doesn't really know how to win a fight at a high margin at all, to be honest. She always wins off a low margin decision. Not much finishing upside for her. Everyone's like, she's going to wrestle. She's going to wrestle. People have been saying that for how many fights now? She's going to wrestle. She's going to wrestle. How many times have we seen Lupi Godinez go in and shoot a takedown for how good of like a wrestler that she is, right? They say she's like an Olympic level wrestler. I'm just going to go in, look at some stats real quick while I'm going through this. I mean, we look at Lupi Godinez, no takedowns against Verna, no takedowns against Ricci, 5 against Reed, 1 against Ducote, 0 against Anthony Cavilla. So really, does she really wrestle that hard? Sure, I think she probably gets Polastri down if she tries to wrestle, but who knows if she's even going to. Close fight. Seems like a 29-28 decision. Could be split for me, but I don't know. I played minus 120 on plus 3.5. That's the spread of the week for UFC Mexico. Julia Polastri plus 3.5. Key Gas Packs was just asking, what do you think of spread of the week? And you let me know. What do you think of spread of the week?
Yeah, I think that that's a solid look if you want to get involved with the fight. I think that Lupi is a gonna finish her. And Polastri could make one of these rounds close enough. And I think that overall this could end up being a close fight, especially if Loopy doesn't wrestle. But if Loopy wrestles, I do think that this could be somewhat dominant for her.
Job, what are you thinking for this one, real quick?
Yeah. By the way, you're spreading some fake news. You didn't play -120. Why are you lying to the
What
people?
was it? What did I get? I didn't look. What was it?
You played the opener, which was -130, and it's now -190. So do you still recommend it?
It's -190 now. Oh boy, this is why you got to be in the Telegram. But all right, at -190, I would not play this. At -190, I would probably say Vince Pinchel, but I wasn't expect it to get moved like that. That's kind of crazy. I did not know it got that big.
Maybe you can check for the people in here if it's on DraftKings. Maybe the price is a bit better.
Yeah, -190 is disgusting.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's nasty work. I would check. You do your breakdown, and I'll look for DraftKings, and I'll check Fanatics as well.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. I tend to agree with you guys. I do think Loopy is gonna shoot a couple takedowns here, and my problem with Polastri is I don't think her takedown defense is awful per se, but I think her get-out game is just not great. Like, she has no urgency to get back up, and she's kind of happy to play off her back. So if Loopy is just like shoot maybe 1 or 2 takedowns here and get 1 or 2, it could be the round easily. Corey McKenna she didn't force the grappling at all, but in round 3 when she did, she had success and won the round that way, make the fight close, where I don't think the fight should have been close because Polastri was kind of dominating early. But yeah, I think her striking is nice. She's aggressive, she's fun to watch, and she's good in the clinch. But yeah, I think Loopy is gonna, time the takedowns off the striking with the jab and the boxing in the pocket. And we also have the factor that she's fighting at home, because yeah, of course, we didn't mention it. Everybody's talking about it this week, but we need to. But the cardio, the elevation and shit like that, it's important. I don't think it is as much important as this fight as some of these other fights, but we are in Mexico, and I think it's 7,000 feet elevation, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, some of these people that used to have bad cardio, it's important to know where they're training and, if they're slowed down in the past and if they went late in fights. And there's 1 or 2 fights on this card I think is very important. This one's not really one of them, but yeah, Loopy is the Mexican fighting at home, so in a close decision, it could matter. But yeah, I think she wins the fight, but probably close, and I think you're going to cash that spread at -130.
Yeah, going to cash that spread, but now I can't give it out as spread of the week, unfortunately. It looks like we're going with fucking Vince Pinchel. Honestly,
you have another one, or you play Pinchel?
No, I didn't play it yet, but I'm gonna have to now.
All right, but you have another one, no?
Yeah, I'll go over that one in a second. I gotta go back.
Yeah, all right. So you have 3 spreads this week. Damn, you're going crazy, bag.
Yeah, all -190. Both girls' elevation in very good shape. I don't think either girl in this fight has a cardio advantage. They both can go 15 minutes pretty decently. I don't think anyone's gonna worry about that. All right, next fight. This is going to be one that is debated all over Twitter. Melky Costa versus C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez. Melky is 22-7, 28, 5'10", 71-inch reach. Christian Rodriguez, 12-2, 27, 5'7", 71.5-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Christian Rodriguez anywhere from -150 to -175. This line has gone back and forth. Melky Costa anywhere from +147 to +130. I'll go first just because I have a bet on this one. I played C-Rod at -138 when it dipped this week. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Everyone loves C-Rod as a dog, and he beats all these prospects, and again, all these prospects are really good fighters. And now we're getting him at a slight favorite odds against a half decent grappler in Costa, and all of a sudden C-Rod's a bad bet. I don't get it. Sure, the guillotine is an issue like we saw. We were all on a Rosa. I was on a Rosa money line. I think Dravhy was on a Rosa sub. We all played that. We saw that there. It's probably going to be here for Melky Costa because he's just as good, if not a better grappler than Julian Rosa. But dude, Melky Costa gets tired, bro. He slows down after 2 rounds, 3 rounds in normal fights. If you watch back in his fights at altitude, this guy's got a good 5 minutes in him. C-Rod is great all the way around. He's a good striker. He's a good grappler. He's got good takedown defense. He does everything right, C-Rod, and he's getting better and better. He's still 27 years old. You want to compare him to his last 3 fights, right? Yeah, Austin Bashi, better wrestler than Costa and better striker. No problem beating him. Julian Erosa.
Whoa. Bashi's not a better striker. What you're talking about?
I think he in Muay Thai. Yeah, at Muay Thai, I think he is. He 100% is. What Mexico's his little kicks he throws are going to make a difference. Give me a break.
You think Bashi's a better striker than Costa?
Boxing range, yes. Kicking wise, no. But what? Melky's kicks are going to really separate this fight. Give me a break, bro.
That's not what I'm saying. But I think it's I think Bashi is way more of a grappler. I think Costa's the way better striker.
And then let's talk about grapplers because we're going to get to Isaac Dogarian. Isaac Dogarian is a way better grappler than I think both Bashi and Meso Costa. C-Rod was able to take him down and take him out. Cameron Simon, better striker than Costa. Beat him up on the feet, outbox him. Ruel Rosas, gas tank, early debut. I don't really give that one too much credit, but look at these names he's beating. And everyone's high on Melky Costa because he beat Andre Fili and Shailin Nurumbeki. Really, that's Austin Lingo. These are the wins we're getting, and now we're giving all the credit he's dog of the week against C-Rod. Give me a break, man. I don't know. C-Rod at minus 150 is totally fine for me. I think C-Rod's the side. I think C-Rod wins this outright. Yeah, that's my breakdown. What do you think, Drav?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I honestly don't feel like I have a good read on it. I think you can make a case for both guys, but you did get some good line movement, Peg, here. I think you play a good line on C-Rod, so it is what it is. At the current price, it's kind of dog or pass to me because, to your point, I mean, if you're looking at the past matchup C-Rod had, it's all undefeated grapplers more often than not. He's not really facing someone that's more so going to look to strike with him, and I don't really see Costa trying to take him down over and over again like these guys did. And you also have to factor in some of these fights you mentioned, or at 135 against, let's say, Simon. Costa's, taller, longer of a striker, and he uses kicks pretty well at distance. So I think he's going to outpoint C-Rod at distance with the kick, but I think C-Rod's going to try to pressure him and win win with his boxing in the pocket. Do I think he's going to knock out Costa? I personally don't. I think C-Rod might be the one trying to shoot takedowns there and mix up his game potentially, because he's a very slick grappler in his own right, and we've seen Costa struggle with that in the past. So I think C-Rod won't have to defend many takedowns here, and he might be the one shooting. But I'm not as high on Costa as people are personally. But I really see this fight as being very competitive. I think Costa's going to win the minute with the kicks. And I really don't see a Costa guillotine, like you said. I think Philly made a dumb mistake. He put his head right there, and he didn't do anything about it, which was very weird. And Julian Erosa, I mean, Julian Erosa has a nasty, nasty guillotine, bro. I don't think Costa's going to do that here. I don't think he's going to finish Rodriguez personally. So if anything, bro, I see this fight going the distance, and I see it being very close. The elevation factor favors C-Rod because he did his camp in Mexico. He's been there for a full month, which is a big plus. And Costa fought Philly really recently, and I think his cardio is not that good. So I have to favor C-Rod. But the props that I might be looking at is Costa by decision if you were to bet this fight at the current numbers. Because if he win, I think it's going to be a decision. And the difference between the money line and the decision, it's kind of a decent enough difference for me to bet this. Let me just confirm what it is right now. But if you go Costa decision, it is, so you can get plus 295 on bet. No, it's actually plus 310 on Bet Rivers. That's the way I would bet this fight. Costa decision plus 310. I think that's how he wins. I think he make it competitive. Maybe C-Rod can finish him late if he slow down. On the C-Rod side, I think the round 2, round 3 props is not a bad way to play it either. So yeah, as far as the pick goes, I'm gonna pick C-Rod, but I think there's betting angle on both sides. It's just a matter of what do you think is the best value, and I think Costa decision probably 310. It's pretty decent, but again, I don't have the strongest read on it, but yeah, I can understand people betting either side here.
What do you think, Kate?
Yeah, I'd lean C-Rod, but I do have some worries here. I mean, you gotta give a little bit of credit to Melky. I believe he's 3-0 as a featherweight in the UFC. His 2 UFC losses coming at lightweight to Steve Garcia and Thiago Moises, and I mean those aren't awful losses to be fair. I think C-Rod is the better fighter. I think that Costa will be shaky late. I do expect C-Rod to have success there, but I think that Melky is a pretty big featherweight, and C-Rod is definitely a smaller featherweight and should be a bantamweight truly if he can make the weight. But I don't think that he's going to ever be athletic and physical enough at this weight class to really put a run together. But I think that C-Rod is going to pick his shots. Well, he'll go to the body. He'll make things nasty in the clinch. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get on the back in rounds 2 and rounds 3. But Melky is pretty quick and twitchy. His kicks will be good. I expect for a pretty competitive fight up until maybe round 3 or so. So I can understand betting C-Rod. I would probably want a better number than currently. But round 3 KO, round 2 even, or just round 3 straight, because I also think C-Rod could catch him in a front choke on a bad shot. But I think round 3 prop is a nice way to play this if you do favor C-Rod, and the altitude adds to the narrative. So C-Rod is my pick.
All right. What's happening? C-Rod, don't trust him at elevation. Not trust him at elevation. He's been training up in elevation. I think Dravhy answered that. Recency bias in the line. Live bet on C-Rod. I don't hate that idea either. Size difference, I think it's 5'10 versus 5'7. So there's a difference, but not crazy. Reach is the same. C-Rod running 13 miles to Santino. They usually know C-Rod pretty well, so that's probably correct. I feel like the head discrepancy. I agree. I think in the boxing range, this isn't even competitive. Feely was outboxing Costa in that fight. It was just the leg kicks that were separating on the striking. Costa ceilings, pick 'em, round 3. This week's CLD. Yeah, let's talk about CLD, Key. While I go through these, what do you think about how your boys perform?
Hey, he cashed my slip. I can't ask for nothing more. I think
the
guy
too. So I'm not.
The guy's got IQ issues. He wants to hug instead of using his athleticism and striking. But
it's amazing.
You should be his coach. You should be his coach.
Yeah, CLD needs to bring me in camp. That's what needs to happen.
All right. Next fight, Atiba Gautier versus Jose Medina. Atiba Gautier is 6-1, 22, 6'4", 81-inch reach. Jose Medina, 11-4, 33, 6 feet tall, 74.5-inch reach. It's a pretty big differential. A line on these two gentlemen, I think this is one of the biggest lines in the fight. Gautier is -425 to -470. Jose Medina is anywhere from +325 to +340. Gautier was Medina is a very popular dog this week. Drav, tell us why he's a popular dog.
Because this fight has like memes written all over it.
I agree, but I kind of also think like Gautier could also come here and knock this guy out and make a him in round 1.
Of course, bro, but like this fight could turn so funny, like so funny because let's be real, Medina is a taxi driver. Like he's not a good fighter. Let's just put it that way. But he has the art of a fighter. Like there's no doubt in that. Like he's very tough and he has good cardio. Like there's the two things about him. He's an okay striker and he doesn't have much power. That's kind of the thing here. But he like his grappling is not that good, but he has the better BJJ of the two here. What do you think happened if Gautier is like in the guillotine or some shit? I don't think he has no grappling personally. I think he's gonna get submitted in the UFC at some point. But yeah, what I was gonna say is I think this guy Gautier he has a ton of potential. Like he's an athletic freak. He hit like a truck. He's super young. He's the type of guy I like to back as an underdog, like I did on that. Is there my mic that do that? Peg, mute yourself for a second. I think I heard some echo, but I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was you, bro. Yeah. You can mute you again. Yeah. All right. Okay, bro, stop doing it. It fuck up my fucking head. But yeah, I think Gautier is the type of guy you want to back as an underdog, but he's unproven. Let's just put it that way. The time that he lost, you go back and you watch that fight. It was a split decision. The guy that he lost to never fought since then. He's 1-0 as a pro, and Gautier almost finished him early, and he gassed out after that. And the fact that this fight's at elevation, and the fact that Medina is like super durable, make it very, very interesting in the sense that I could see Gautier knocking him out early and looking good doing so, but I could also see Gautier hurting Medina and not finishing him and gassing out, and Medina coming out late and winning round 2, 3, or finishing late. That's a possibility. But yeah, I mean, Gautier should win. It's just that his cardio is shaky, and then you add the fact that it's at elevation. That is his UFC debut. That is a big favorite, and he's fighting a durable dude. So the guy that he beat on Dynamite Contender Series is a bum. Like, he's not good. Medina is also a bum, but to his credit, he's way more durable than the guy on Dynamite Contender Series. So yeah, I mean, Gautier, I'm sure Key is gonna probably talk about it, but like when he was defending takedowns on his Dynamite Contender Series, he was looking at his corner, like he was waiting for tips by his corner to defend and what to do. So he's like, again, he's very green, but the guy is just an athlete. He hit like a truck, so he should get a knockout here. But Medina is like so durable, so it's tricky. And he got hurt by Zachary Ruiz, but he got hurt with body shot. And I've not really seen Gautier goes to the body that much. So this guy seems to have a brick head. So again, the taxi driver's coming out late and like Gautier slowing down, and then the commentary go crazy and Medina Gautier is puffing, and bro, I can see this fight being such a meme. But yeah, I don't think Medina is that skilled. Like, if he loses it, he's gonna be cut, and he's not. Like, he's not it. Gautier is the better fighter, but he's just so green. And UFC debut, high altitude. Bro, Peg, your mic is fucked up. But yeah, I think he should handle business and get a KO here. Key, what do you think during the time Peg fixes shit mic?
Yeah, I think that Gautier is gonna do whatever he wants.
Is that better?
Yeah, it is, but yeah, we don't hear the echo anymore. But yeah, I think that Gautier is going to do whatever he wants to him. I think that he can take him down and find a ground and pound finish if he wants. I don't expect for Medina to do anything to him. Medina's kind of, I mean, he's like a UFC like Make-A-Wish kid, he's like a CM Punk type of guy in my opinion. Like, he's that type of skill level. Like, guy shouldn't be here. He wouldn't win fights in LFA. He wouldn't win fights in CFFC. Like, he's not a good fighter in my opinion. I think that Gautier would have to like pretty much like throw this fight away in rounds 2 or round 3 and just like pretty much quit to lose, in my opinion. He's getting good training. He's getting better and better, it seems. Freak athlete, although I don't believe that this guy is actually 22 years old. That's besides the point. He is getting better. So I think the Gautier does whatever he wants to him. I see early finish. His physicality is just absolutely disgusting, like disgusting physicality. So I think that shines through here.
Yeah. It seems to just be the common narrative. Some guys in sick shape, huge dude, a lot of knockout power early that hasn't been in the distance often. Like, that seems to be the common thing. Like, you get Medina gets beaten up like a body bag, survives, then takes over later. It's possible. If that's the case, why not wait for a Medina live line, watch from there? I think that's going to be like a pretty good thing to do this week, is watch fights, see if tides turn or people get tired, and then bet the other side. It's going to be pretty obvious to do that with live lines. That's kind of my take. Works great for this fight, especially with Medina, because he'll be even bigger of a dog if he survives. But I'm actually going to take Gautier to win round 1 KO. That's kind of my thought process there.
Do you think KO prop is good at -130?
I'm going to say yes, because I thought it was going to be wider before. I didn't know it was -130. Honestly, I haven't looked into the props in this fight. I have no interest in betting them, but I'm going to say, yeah, -130 seems fine to me. I thought it would probably be like -170.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm just not even reading this. My bad, boys. How do you think Nato would do against Medina? Nato would probably get smoked.
Yeah, I mean,
Or a sub, actually. Actually, Nato might find a sub. Who knows?
Yeah, Nato's not great. Yeah, me too.
opinion.
Carlos verified, but Carlos Vera had like good BJJ at least, but he fucking dropped him with a head kick. So I think funny things can happen in these type of fight. That's kind of my point.
Medina with a taxi driver written your choke bet is money line. That's funny. All right. Next fight is Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. Edgar Chairez is 11-6, 29, 5'7", 72-inch reach. CJ Vergara is 12, 6-1, 33, 5'6", 68-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen, you can get Edgar Chairez anywhere from -250 to -260. You get Vergara anywhere from +212 to +231. I did not realize that Chairez was this young. I thought he was older. I'll go first real quick. I think this is a clear Chairez spot. I think Chairez is live to get a guillotine here on Vergara if he shoots. We just watched him go against Josh Van. He was able to knock down. I know he didn't knock him down, but he hurt Josh Van pretty bad. I rate Josh Van striking higher than Vergara's by many levels. I mean, Chairez is an all-around pretty good fighter. Like, his striking's good. His jiu-jitsu's good. He does everything pretty good. He's kind of a fucking savage. Look at him here. He's a sick fuck. He looks like a cholo. I mean, I got no issues with betting Chairez here. Inside the distance, I think is plus odds. I don't mind that either. I think he could knock out Vergara or sub him. You look at the strength of schedule, Josh Van, Daniel Lacerda, I don't say much. Lacerda again. Tatsu Taira. I remember he had Tatsu Taira hurt too. So like, and then Gianni Vasquez, that doesn't matter. But between Van and Taira, I mean, those are two pretty good. I mean, those are two good losses, and they were, good fights. Vergara, on the other hand, knocked off by Tamirov, lost to Asu, beat Venetia Salvador. He actually beat my jiu-jitsu coach too, Salvador. Daniel Lacerda. So they both knocked out Daniel Lacerda. Tatsu Taira subbed him. So there you go. You want to use Tatsu Taira as a ruler. Chairez actually hurt Taira and made him go to war. Vergara got subbed by him. If you want to do like MMA math, I don't know. I don't mind Edgar Chairez here. Now that the line's coming down, I might use him as a parlay leg at this point, but I don't mind it here. I think Edgar Chairez is a side. He can win a decision. He could win by KO. He could win by sub. What do you think, Key?
While Peg is doing the MMA Mats live on the podcast, can you tell us about Chairez versus Joshua Van?
Man, I mean, I was on Van there. What do you mean? I watched that whole fight.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm sure Key knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit. The spinning back fist bullshit. I had rounds 2, round 3 KO for like big plus numbers. And Chairez is pulling fucking spinning back fists out of his ass, doing all types of shit to stay in the fight. And the guy's a dog. I gotta admit that showed a lot of heart in that fight. And he's physically big for the weight class. I know it says 5'7". He looks to be a little bit bigger than 5'7", but one, how long his arms are. 72-inch reach. CJ Vergara's small guy. I don't expect for him to have any moments early. Chairez is pretty long as a striker. I just can't get down with Chairez just because I don't think that he's a good decision maker whatsoever. And I think that these weight cuts, he's missed weight before, but these weight cuts seem to be absolute hell for him. And so I'm not counting on a guy that's definitely having a rough weight cut and an elevation against a guy who has pretty much made a career off of just being tougher than you late. And Vergara, I mean, I cashed pretty big off that Lacerda fight, and that was, I mean, one of the all-timers, honestly, in terms of how crazy that shit was. So I think for me, it's a pass, just because Chairez, I don't believe, has the best process. But I think that Chairez probably looks really, really good for the first 8 minutes or so, and could even knock him out. I don't think that Vergara is like Iron Chin or anything. He can be hurt. We've seen it. So I think Chairez by KO early is a potential decent look. But I just hope that Vergara just doesn't wrestle early, because Chairez takedown defense is just absolutely awful. It's pretty much guillotine or bust. And then he's willing to play off of his back. And that's just not a guy who I want to back at -320s, -350 numbers. That's nasty to me a little bit. So it's a pass.
What do you think, Dravhy?
Yeah, for the BJJ off his back part, do you know how many takedowns CJ has in the UFC or attempts?
No.
0. So
Good.
yeah, I'll be kind of shocked if he's trying to shoot here, and if he does trying to shoot, he might end up getting subbed by a guillotine. To be honest,
I think he does get that guillotine. I saw it
um,
on tape. It's there.
yeah, but he needs to wrestle for him to get it, or club and sub. And Vergara doesn't wrestle. That's kind of the problem. My hot take of the week is that Chairez might knock him out. It's a big price. I think it's very live. I personally think he's gonna fuck him up.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, watching back the Joshua Van fight, we know how big of a pace Van pushed, and round 1 was very close, and round 2, I mean, it was just a roller coaster. You know, he got hurt, and then you hurt him, and round 3, you kind of clip him a little bit too, and Van striking is like you said, Peg, levels above Vergara. Like, it's not even comparable, and the pace that Van push is way harder to keep up with than CJ does, and yeah, he did slow down a little bit in round 3, but it was after getting almost finished in round 2. So he's a Mexican here. I'm not sure how much the elevation is going to affect him, but if it doesn't affect him, I think this line is short. I really do. I think he's just better everywhere. I think you just cover him everywhere. If there is a KO, a sub, or even if there's a decision, I favor Chairez personally, and I think Vergara is not going to finish him. I'm confident in that. He's not going to wrestle either. So he's going to need to do better than Van did, or the same that Van did, which I don't see that happening. And even Van almost lost that fight. Like, it was very close. So yeah, I think he fucked him up. I think his ceiling is high. He's still young, like you said, and he's big for the division. Yeah, I think at distance, it's not close. I get CJ could have some success in the pocket with his hands, but I think Chairez is just too durable. He hit very hard for a flyweight as well. Like you said, he dropped Tyra, he hurt Van, and he's been fighting good. Like, outside of Lacerda, he's been fighting good guys. So I think CJ, his chin just got cracked in his last fight, and he got hurt a couple of other fights. And watching back CJ versus Daniel Lacerda is just so funny, man.
You watch him run away.
Every time I watch this fight, I'm just laughing. So yeah, Chairez KO, you can get like plus 470 on FanDuel. I think it's a decent look. Oh no, it's actually 500 now. I didn't bet that myself yet because Vergara is very durable and Chairez could club and sub. That's kind of the worry. And ITD is not that good. But yeah, I think Chairez endo business and
what's ITD? Plus 130?
I think inside the distance it's around that. Yeah, I'm not sure, but let me check. Yeah, plus 140 on DraftKings. It's not too bad, but
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's it's a flyweight fight at the end of the day, and CJ is durable, so I don't want to rush it. But yeah, I think Chairez is. I think this line is short personally.
Yeah. Comment real quick. Yeah, we're gonna see him run again. I agree. Chairez doesn't trust him. Chairez should cover the line. I agree. I think he's safe to parlay here. Chairez schooling Van round 1. I thought the same, but these guys didn't agree with me.
What's up, Ricky?
What's happening, Ricky? Yeah, he did put it on in round 1.
Man, he was. I was impressed watching that fight back because I remember having 2-3 and like bad. That was like a bad beat. But in my head, I thought Van kind of fucked him up outside of that elbow, but he really didn't.
They might go to decision if everyone starts getting tired. Overs are live. I can't remember what I say in the group chat to you guys at the beginning of the week. Did I say overs or unders are live? I can't remember what I texted you guys on Sunday.
We didn't, so we don't remember.
I know. I can't remember what the fuck I said. All right. Main event, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.
Main card.
Yes. Huh?
You won that Lazyboy main event? That's what
well, Lazyboy main event's always entertaining, but no, I'm sorry. Main card started now. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you guys joining us every week. We love doing this for y'all, making everybody money. Just give us good energy. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. Give us a follow on Twitter. We appreciate it. We recognize it. All right, guys? All right. First fight opening the main card. Ronaldo Rodriguez, Lazyboy versus Kevin Borjas, Keys Boy. Lazyboy is 17-2. He's 25, 5'6", 65-inch reach. Kevin Borjas is 9-3. He's 27, 5'5", 68-inch reach. He's out of Peru, which tells me that Fight Odds is going to like him, I think, right? Fight Odds is Peruvian. Or Fight Talk only is Peruvian. Fight Odds. Line these two gentlemen. Borjas is plus 120 to plus 135. Lazyboy is anywhere from minus 145 to minus 160. Key, I mean, at least I bet Ode Osborne against Lazyboy last time. He should have been dead in that arena, but instead he survived and pulled out a win, and I felt robbed. I mean, is this a spot where we fade him here with a good kickboxer in Borjas, or do we wait till the next fight?
Yeah, this is a weird one. I do think that Lazyboy is not very good. I mean, Bondar was doing pretty much anything he wanted to him early. And then Ode Osborne looked clean and then flaked as usual. But to his credit, though, I mean, that was a really competitive round 3 whenever it shouldn't have been. I would have expected after that round 2 for Lazyboy to go ahead and mop him up in round 3. But Ode made that a really close round. And I think it's because Lazyboy doesn't really know who he is as a fighter. I think that he needs to go all in on being a grinding wrestler and being able to use his BJJ, because he is decent whenever he gets on top of people. He gets back control, putting that body triangle. So it's not like he's bad on the ground, but on the feet, I think that he's just pretty much awful. It's big hooks, big overhands, really telegraphed long kicks. I think the Borjas has potential to snipe him here. The straight shots will get there faster than the hooks and the big looping overhands. I don't think the Lazyboy has obviously no good shot selection on the feet. Not having a jab and the 125 weight class, in my opinion, is pretty much a death sentence. And I think that Borjas 1-2 is super long. He has real pop. I wouldn't be surprised to see him knock him out here. I think that elevation here makes this fight even trickier because Lazyboy could wear on him and survive round 1, or just make round 1 somewhat competitive and just try to wear on him as the fight goes on. And I do think that that's his path to victory here. But I do think that Borjas has the cleaner path to victory. I think they can snipe him with a 1-2 over and over again, honestly. Lazyboy isn't moving his head. Reluctant to wrestle a lot, can get dragged into just swinging bombs. Poor fight IQ. I don't care how many million followers you have on Instagram. He's not that good, man. He's just not. So, prediction wise, I'll say Borjas. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Lazyboy weasel out another fucking win somehow.
Dravhy, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it's a fight I kind of go back and forth in. I think you can make an argument on both sides. I know people on two sides, but I kind of think Lazyboy is gonna win this. He's not that great. Like his process, as Q would say, is not what you want as a fighter in the striking. But to his credit, I think his ground game is pretty legit. His BJJ is very good. The only problem is that he doesn't wrestle enough. But when he got hurt against Ode, he did wrestle. So kind of expect in this fight, he's either going to learn from his last fight because he's still young at the end of the day. And if Borjas hurt him, he's going to shoot for takedowns. But if he doesn't, I mean, that's kind of dumb and possible because, Borjas is the better striker at distance. He's going to piece him up. But in the pocket, I think Rodriguez could have some success on the feet. He's going to pressure him probably. And yeah, he's just he has the art of a lion, to be honest. In his last fight, he didn't get finished, and a lot of people would have quit in that position. He didn't. So I think that he has more, let's say, he has more dog in him than Borjas. Borjas has been finished 2 times, 1 by KO and 1 by sub. Rodriguez also has pretty decent ground and pound. So yeah, if he gets on top, I think he's going to find the sub. But if he doesn't get on top, I think Borjas is live to win it. So that's why I'm going back and forth. I rate Borjas striking, but it is at home for Rodriguez. I trust his cardio better, and I think that his advantage on the mat is pretty big. So I'm going to pick him to win here, and I think that he's live for a submission.
Yeah. Earlier this week, I kind of leaned Borjas after tapes being like, he's a pretty good striker, pretty clean. Lazyboy is there to get hit all the time. I think Lazyboy has all the grappling upside. I think we've seen Borjas kind of slow down in some fights and now I'm kind of, after seeing that at altitude and seeing the grappling of Lazyboy on tapes, I mean, I wouldn't bet this fight personally, but I'm probably just going to go Lazyboy or pass here. I don't hate the Borjas dog shots, especially if you got that like plus 150 number, but I don't know. Should be close, but I probably lean Ronaldo here. Okay, next fight. Or should do comments real quick before we do that. Sorry. No good at this still. Lazyboy. Yeah, I think we fade him next fight, not this fight.
Yeah.
Borjas, super live, box up Lazyboy, of course, and we're about the cardio and ground game. Yeah.
I think he's in the same situation. You love him.
Yeah, Key loves Borjas.
Borjas is gonna go on a
Borjas truther. All right, next fight: David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. David Martinez is 11-1, 26, 5'6", 66-inch reach. Simon Oliveira is 18-5, super inactive, 33, 5'4", 66-inch reach. Odds on these two gentlemen: David Martinez is minus 360 to minus 390. Simon Oliveira is plus 285 to plus 300. Drav, I mean, this is a clear setup spot for David Martinez, no?
Probably. You have the comment on bottom still if you want to remove it.
Sorry.
But yeah, I think Martinez is a good fighter. He's a good striker, very good footwork, and the big cage is going to be hard to find for Oliveira. But yeah, Oliveira is another of these, one-dimensional grappler, BJJ guy. Martinez is going to piece him up on the feet. I think Oliveira is going to try to force takedowns, but Martinez takedown defense is good. He's going to circle, and maybe get a round 2, round 3 finish because he has better cardio. Oliveira is kind of a gasser, has not fought in like 2 years. So yeah, I think Martinez should be fine here. He's not that great of a finisher, but I rate the guy that he beat on the White Contender Series, Xavier Franklin. I think he's pretty good. Xavier won a fight after that as well, so I think that guy is pretty solid. And it was more of a test than Oliveira is going to be. Martinez just have to worry about, a back take or some shit like that. But yeah, Oliveira is pure chaos, and I think his fights are pretty volatile. But yeah, I think the layoff, the age difference, the career trajectory difference is pretty big. But I'm not sure I would relate the big price on Martinez, considering he's making his debut, and he's a massive favorite. But I think he should handle business here and either win by a late KO or a dominant decision.
Key, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that this is a tee up, obviously, for David Martinez. I think that he gets it done here. I don't rate Oliveira at all. At the fault week competition, just racked up a lot of finishes over bums. I don't think these UFC level unserious fighter been out for 2 years. As long as Martinez doesn't pull a crazy stunt here, I think they gets it done. He's probably going to continue to be an annoying guy to fight for everybody just based off of how much he moves laterally. But I think the guy's decent. I would like to see him actually settle his feet a little bit more once he has guys up against the cage. I think that he could be a little more potent offensively, but solid guy. Don't think he's a world beater, a top 15 level talent or anything, but he'll be serviceable and will beat bums pretty handedly. So I think Martinez gets it done.
Yeah, I think it's a setup fight. I'm going to be honest. I'll be transparent there. When I didn't even tape this one, I had no interest in betting it. David Martinez money line. Next fight here, David Martinez style on him. Yeah, could have told you that. Sprinkles sub 800, Jewish sub 800.
That's probably how he wins, so I don't mind that.
Guillotine, even if Martinez is halfway across the octagon. Okay. Yeah, I heard this guy was like a big jiu-jitsu guy or something like that. That's great. Good for him. Love that. Martinez round 3 is plus 900.
I like that because he's not going to rush finishes, and he's normally finishing guys late, and Oliveira is a gasser. So I think if he does finish, it's more than likely going to be like end of round 2 or in round 3. So that's a big price. And yeah, the sub is probably the only way he wins. I tend to agree.
Yeah. All right. That's everything there. Next fight we have is Raul Rosas versus Vince Morales. Raul Rosas Jr., El Nino Problema, 10-1, 20, 5'9", 6'7" reach. Vince Morales Vendetta is 16-9. He's 34, 5'7", 70 reach. It's a pretty quick turnaround for Vince Morales. These two gentlemen, Raul Rosas is anywhere from -400 to -480. Vince Morales anywhere from +350 to +325. Another long shot. Key, do you want to tell me, are we taking a dog shot here on our boy Vince Morales? Is this line too wide, or is Raul Rosas going to prove a point here and get another finish?
Vince is just absolutely awful at winning fights at the UFC level. It feels like the guy has tools, sneaky front chokes. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rosas have to defend a couple. I don't think that Morales actually does sub him, though. I think that Rosas figures out a way to win, but I don't think that Rosas is very good. Arichi Lang, in my opinion, fucked that fight away just by not defending one more takedown in round 3. I think that Rosas is pretty much on the feet. He hasn't really taken leaps. I mean, anybody on I line Dravhy -200 versus Terrence Mitchell. So I think anybody on earth can knock out Terrence Mitchell. So I'm not going to sit here and act like that was a good performance just because he knocked somebody down. So I do give him credit for subbing Ricky Tercios, but outside of that, I mean, it's kind of like, what am I get he's young, but like, what's the hype really about here? So for me, it's a pass. I think that he probably does get a rear naked choke in round 1, round 2. But I think that he probably ends up winning 2 rounds. I think he will take down Vince Morales. It will be interesting to see the exchanges that they will have, because I think Morales will try to scramble. But I do think that Rosas probably wins 2 rounds or finds a sub early. I don't see total domination over 15 minutes, but so Morales probably could outperform the price tag, but I think that he's going to end up being a value loser if he gets out of there pretty quickly.
I like what ChampFat said too. I mean, you could look at him versus Tercios for like an elevation ruler if you want to see how you think he's going to do again at altitude. Although I think he did his full camp here this time, so maybe a little different. But what do you think, Dravhy?
Personally, think Rosas gonna handle business and probably find a sub here. It's pretty obvious what they're trying to do, right? I mean, Morales fought what a month ago.
Yeah,
can you check that for me.
Yeah, a month ago. It was against Roger Smith. We bet him. Yep, 1 month.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget he took a lot of damage in that fight. His nose was bleeding, and you know he probably
he almost cooked my boy though. I was on Elijah Smith. He almost cooked him.
Yeah, and I mean, Smith had a lot of success in the wrestling against him, and he had a lot of good. He had opportunity to take his back, and he didn't do it. The thing that I've noticed compared to Rosas' last fight and the Ricky Tercios fight is Ricky Tercios was happy to scramble with Rosas because he's very hard to hold down and he has very good BJJ, he's good scramble. And because of that, he gave a bad position and Rosas was able to capitalize and get the sub. And like he said, it is impressive. In fact, Tercios has never been submitted outside of that fight. So I think it's a very good win to have. I remember people were kind of high on Tercios going into that fight because of how well he does scramble. And Rosas, he choked him out. So pretty impressive. And then the last fight against RQ, he didn't submit him, but fighting, I mean, Peg, you know that better than me, but fighting someone that is just trying not to get finished, not to get submitted, it's hard because the guy was not trying to get back up. He was not trying to give up his back. He was just happy to not getting submitted. And again, you know that better than me, but it's fucking hard to do. I've done some grappling, but not as much as you, and I know that. So watching that fight, I'm like, all right, so Morales is not going to do that. He loves his sub. He loves his front choke. He's going to happy to scramble. He's going to be happy to roll with Rosas. And when he does, he gives up his back. I've noticed that in a lot of his fights. And Rosas going to take that back, man, and he could submit him. And Morales also live for a sub himself because he has good front choke and he could get if Rosas slow down, he could capitalize. But I just think Morales is not a good winner. He's even on the feet. He's a better striker here, but he's just not doing enough. He's watching people and not doing enough. And, Rosas on the full cam here and Morales on a quick turnaround. taking another fight after, he took a lot of damage and he's fighting at high altitude. So I kind of think that Rosas is going to either submit him in round 1 or 2, or he's going to be up 2-0, slowing down in round 3. And Morales, people are going to scream at him because he needs to do something and he doesn't. But yeah, I think Rosas is probably going to submit him just based on the fact that Morales is going to be more than happy to engage in the grappling, which I think is going to be a mistake. And because of that, he's going to end up giving up his back at some point, or pulling a guillotine that he's not going to get, and Rosas is going to capitalize and get on top and choke him out. So that's the way I see it. I know Morales has been a long time since he's been submitted, but at the end of the day, he's 34, and I don't know why he's taking this fight on such short notice. So we'll see what happens, but I think Rosas submit him.
All right, let's take a look here. Take a look at the comments here. Champ's always got good reads. I think Rosas is the side too, but I don't know if I'm really looking to take a shot. Maybe I'll parlay Rosas with Chairez, depending on what those odds are. Making a little nasty work parlay, but that should cash. Rosas definitely is improving fight by fight. I'm impressed. Very break down this one, Dravhy. Yep, couldn't agree more, bro. It's pretty.
Talk us about what I said, because you're the grappling expert.
Yeah, so far from an expert, but yeah, if you're going against someone like in these jiu-jitsu competitions, more often than not, you're not going to find a submission, because all people do is they get tired, and when they get tired, all they do is, I don't want to get subbed. So they sit there and all they do is defend the sub. All you got to do is put your arms in like this, hold it close to your head so they can't get under your chin, and you can sit there against some of the best people too. It's really hard to finish someone who knows how to prevent being finished, and that's pretty much it, man. You're 100% right. I think that's kind of how this goes too. Like, both these guys are high enough level grapplers where if they don't want to get finished, they can try their best not to. It's really about tricking someone, getting caught, or getting hurt. If someone just sits there defending, a white belt can defend a brown belt if they really want to. It's just about being smart and making minimal movements as possible. So you're right. It's definitely difficult. Let's move on to our next fight here. This is another great fight. Main card's really good for this one. Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Kelvin Gastelum's 19-9. He's 33, 5'9", 71.5-inch reach. Joe Pyfer is 13-3, 28, 6'2", 75-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen. Pyfer is anywhere from -300 to -330. Kelvin Gastelum's anywhere from +250 to +230. Dravhy, I'll have you go first, because I think Key stepped away for a second. I mean, this is my my spread of the week. This is the other one I took. I don't know if it's then again. I also don't know if this one's still there. I'll text DraftKings, but I am on Kelvin Gastelum +3.5. I believe it was plus odds. I have to go back and check, but yeah, I think Kelvin Gastelum can make this a close fight. We just watched Joe Pyfer gas out against Hermanson in a 5-round fight, so I get that. But at elevation, so high up, Kelvin's got an elite chin. Joe Pyfer doesn't knock him out, then wrestle. I mean, Kelvin Gastelum can stop takedowns. Pyfer's not Brady, so I don't know. I don't get how he's this big of a favorite at elevation against a guy in Kelvin Gastelum. Seems like a pretty big step up in competition. What do you think, Dravy?
Yeah, I think early money on Gastelum was sharp, just because the cardio dynamic. First of all, we know Gastelum has very good cardio. Been 5 rounds a couple of times, and he's a Mexican. He did his training. He's not a Mexican, but is he? Like, I'm not sure. Because
no, he is. He's definitely a Mexican. Yeah.
Why are you laughing? Then you kind of had me.
Yeah, I think it's just fun. I don't know. I make my own jokes in my head. I just crack up and stuff.
I saw the flag on bottom of his name. I was like, maybe I fucked up, because it's USA. But what I mean by that is, like, he did a part of his camp there, and he's gonna be he's not gonna be affected by the elevation, I don't think. And Pyfer, we've seen him slow down in fights before in round 3, and against Hermanson round 4 and 5 also. So I think just the fact that he's so big for the division can play against him, because he does have a big weight cut, and when you're fighting at elevation and you're slowing down in round 3, it's never going to be good for you. Now I want to talk about the grappling aspect, because there's some people that think Pyfer just going to easily submit Gastelum because Brady submit him. First of all, Brady isn't like elite grappler. Destroy Leon Edward, that was easy money. But what we know about Brady, and one of the reasons I bet him against Edward, is because his top game is insanely good. When you get a takedown, you're not getting back up, and he has very good submission skills. Pyfer is a good grappler in his own right, and he has explosive takedowns. But the difference is, like, first of all, if you watch back the Gastelum fight against Brady took him down two or three times in round 1, and he got to dominant position. Gastelum was able to get back up twice in that first round. So if he's able to get back up there against Brady, who I rate his top control way higher than Pyfer, I have no issues thinking that Gastelum's going to be able to get back up against Pyfer. Brady had to work hard and wrestle over and over again, and he got a submission in round 3. I can also tell you that I really don't think Pyfer is going to get a submission in round 3 here, because I don't trust his cardio, and he's just not that good of a submission guy. And Brady got like a Kimura. He's not going to get that, so he's not going to submit late. He's going to have to work for takedowns, and if he does that, he's going to slow down. And yeah, I think Gastelum can get back up. I know he did struggle against some grappler in his career, but I don't think Pyfer is just going to smoke him in the grappling easily. He's going to need to work for it. And on the feet, Pyfer hit harder, and he's a good striker. But I think Gastelum throw more volume, and he's very durable. So maybe Pyfer could crack him, but Gastelum durability is just elite. I trust him to throw more volume. I trust him to not get finished. And I think he win the 3rd round at a high clip. I think this fight's going to hit the scorecard. And when it does, it's going to be very competitive. So I think this line is wide. I think over makes sense. I think Gastelum plays makes sense. Spread makes sense too. So I think we see a 29-20 decision either way. Pyfer coming out strong, winning round 1 and losing round 3. And it's going to depend on round 2. But the line doesn't reflect that. So I think Gastelum is very live here. But I mean, gun to my head, I'm going to pick Pyfer because he does have more paths to victory and more likely to finish. But yeah, I think this line is way off.
Yeah, like I said, I gave it before. I gave out spread plus 155. Spread is plus 125 on DraftKings. I still think that's fine. Plus odds on this spread. Put 1 unit down on that. All you need is Kelvin Gastelum not to get finished, and he probably wins round 3 at a pretty high clip. So it seems pretty fair to me. Should be great. What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I haven't gotten down to any bet on this fight, but I pretty much agree with a lot of what y'all said. I think Pyfer will look good early. It's just Gastelum's career has just been such a mind fuck since the Izzy fight. It feels like I just don't know what I'm gonna get out of him. It's just he's weird to cap for me at this point in his career. So I might get to a bet here. I might end up just passing, but I don't think that Pyfer is a very good parlay piece for what it's worth.
And Key, I've listened to a part of Gastelum interviews, and just so you know, he said that he's permanently staying at 185, and that's where he belongs. So he's not gonna try to cut back down, go to 170 and shit like that. He's gonna stay at middleweight. So I just figured out it was important because, like you said, when a fighter is not like he's not knowing what he's gonna do next, it's kind of tricky sometimes. But he's saying that middleweight is his home, and I welterweight against Brady, he looked bad even on the feet, man. I mean, I don't think that weight cut's healthy for him because he's just not disciplined enough in the nutrition. So
yeah, I agree. Pyfer elevation can't make a mistake there.
Yeah, I mean, people don't get it. Pyfer is massive. Like of course he's bigger than Gastelum, but I mean the weight cut has to be tough. Oh, also I forgot to mention, boys, but did you guys know that Pyfer had another shoulder surgery after the Barrio fight?
That's bad.
After what
I
fight?
definitely don't like that.
You remember on Dynamite Contender Series when he had a surgery when he got injured against Lupus, right? So after the Barrio fight, he got another surgery, to the same shoulder after that
Mm.
fight. So he's
And-
coming back after another shoulder surgery. So just a very important note that I forgot to mention.
Yeah. Bang it home, Key. Yeah, I agree. What was the joke? I don't know. Something about Mexicans. Who knows? All these, this whole card's a bunch of overpriced Mexicans when it comes to gambling, but we don't have to go on that. Here we go. Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. Manuel Torres, El Loco, is 15-3, 30 years old, 5'10", 73-inch reach. Drew Dober is 27-14. He is 36, 5'8", 70-inch reach. Odds in these two gentlemen, you can get Manuel Torres anywhere from plus 100 to minus 115. You can get Drew Dober anywhere from minus 105 to minus 120. Dravhy, I'll have you go first. I'm on Drew Dober plus 110. I got it at the plus odds. I love that bet. My bad about that. You got it. By the way, KG got a personal chef. But yeah, Drew Dober at plus odds against a guy in Torres who's got a good 5 minutes in him, whatever. Pause. Good 5 minutes fight, whatever it is. After that, bro, the guy's an airbag. He's a gas bag. He's got to finish you in 5 to 7 minutes or you're done. Now we're giving him up at elevation against a guy in Drew Dober whose chin is, they make memes about like elongating Drew Dober's chin because it's like rock solid. So it's like, I just don't get it here. Plus, like, this talking about a step up in experience. I faded Torres last fight against with Ignacio Bahamondes. I also faded Jalen Turner with. That's my boy. He's a cash cow right now. I don't know. I think if Drew Dober survives that first round, he's going to put it on this by Manuel Torres, final round 3 finish, or win a pretty decisive decision. Dober's up at elevation as well. He's been in Denver his whole career. He's got cardio for days. He can do it for 5 rounds. He can wrestle. He can grapple. He can box. Whatever you want, Drew Dober does it. I love this spot for Drew Dober, honestly. I think it's a buy low spot. And if Manuel kills him, he kills him. It is what it is. What do you think, Dravy?
Yeah, another fight where I agree with the line movement. I posted Dober as my free bet of the week. By the way, we've been on fire with these posting underdog for free on X. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm under a paywall, but I still post them for free and been cashing underdogs left and right doing that. So yeah, I like Dober here. I play him at plus money. People are betting Torres based on probably age and the fact that he's fighting at home. And Key, you're the one pointing out to me at first, but to your credit. But in my head, the Gene Silva fight with Dober, he got his ass beat up, like in my head, right, before watching the fight again. But the fight was competitive in some moments. Like Dober cracked Silva with a couple big shots, and he got hit with everything that Silva had. Like he took everything, and he was still there in round 3, and he was still pressuring him. Like I had some people commenting on my free bet saying that he got smoked against Silva. But what do you guys think Silva versus Torres line would be? Personally, think Silva will be like 80%. So do I hold that against Dober? The fact that he got finished, and by the way, it was a cut stoppage. He got cut, I think, in round 1, and it clearly did affect the fight because he had blood all over his face. But saying that his chin is gone now because of the Frivola fight is just fake news. Bro, he took some bumps, some elbows. He almost got finished in round 2, but he was still there smiling, dude. Like, I get that he's hittable, but Torres is even more hittable, and I trust his chin less. He got clipped against Mota. He got hurt against Bahamondes. And by the way, like, shout out to you guys catching Bahamondes, but this dumbass looked drunk, man. You rush into the counters face first. You got dropped. You get back up, and you rush into the same counters face first again, and then he quit. So, man, I watched that. I'm like, yeah. And then his couple other fights, he had some sketchy moments. He got hurt against Duncan. I think it was impressive for him to get the submission, but Duncan improved a lot since that fight, in my opinion. And yeah, again, he got hurt. He got clipped against Mota before the elbow, and he got knocked down twice against Bahamondes. So are people just thinking Dober is washed and his chin is gone now? That's why people were making Torres the favorite. Now the line flip, and I agree with that. But I think the problem here for Torres is that he has shaky cardio. He has like 6 minutes of cardio at elevation. and Dober's going to pressure him. He's not going to fuck off. He's going to be in his face. And
he's a good hammer and a terrible nail, this guy, Torres.
He is. Well said. And Dober, I think, is going to get hit with some bombs first 2-3 minutes, and he's still going to be there. And he's just going to break him. Does it going to be in round 1 or round 2? I'm not sure. But I just think that Dober hit as hard, if not harder, than Torres. He's been fighting way better competition. And yeah, this line is just there because of the Frivola fight and maybe the Gene Silva fight, but I don't hold that against him. Really don't. And again, this fight against Silva, I like to have that as tapes because it showed me that his chin is still fine and that I think is going to be able to handle Torres' power. And also after like a round, Dober's like minus 400 here. So, and he can win in any rounds. And I think in round 1, it's probably a 50-50. I think Torres, if he does win, it's going to be in round 1. But I think Dober can win in round 1 too. I think it's 50-50, but I make Dober a massive favorite after 5 or 6 minutes. So yeah, him being the underdog just didn't make sense to me. I trust his durability more. I trust his power as much as I do for Torres. And yeah, I think he's going to be in his face right off the bat and kill him.
What do you think, Key?
Yeah, I posted Dober as my free bet. I think that it's pretty clear here. Round 2, round 3 he has all the upside. Torres is, in my opinion, kind of a glass cannon. He's getting touched up. Big time front runner, in my opinion. The Bob Mundes fight, I cashed Bob Mundes at I think plus 100. But Torres fought just awful, like just awful and dumb. I don't think that this guy is very good, honestly. And I think that Dober's process is going to show up here. I mean, the way that he constantly is pressuring, I mean, he put John Silva completely on the back foot, and John Silva just has some of the best counters and timing in the world right now. But outside of that, I mean, Dober made John Silva look human a couple times. I mean, the Superman punch was a big shot. He had other shots, and I mean, on the stats, I mean, statistically outstruck John Silva. The guy is good. And I don't think that his chin is going. If this was Dober 2 years from now with another KO on his record, I could maybe understand this line a little bit more. But it's not like he's just getting chinned every fight. He's taking damage, still holding up, still having good recovery. And even the Frivola fight, I mean, the guy's such a dog. He was still arguing with the ref even whenever he got knocked out against Frivola. So I just think that Dober has a different level of dog, been living at elevation for his whole career, is going to have the cardio advantage. I love the way that he finds the body. I think that he's really like turned out a really good career for himself. I think that Dober gets another one, and I think that would be the lightweight record or something KO wise. So yeah, I mean Dober deserves it. I think that he'll get it done here.
You guys also see that this week is the youngest fighter in the UFC and the oldest fighter in the UFC are fighting on the same card, being Rosas being the youngest and Vince Pinchel being the oldest. Interesting stuff. Totally irrelevant to that. Yeah, I might mush us, but usually when Rob gives the free play, it's the mush. So just follow spread of the week. Don't worry about Drav's play. I think Drew Dober lightweight KO here. I agree. People saying Dober's chin. Yeah, I agree. I think that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Exactly what we talked about. Twitter resistance, good hammer, not a nail. Drew Dober also loves fighting. Yeah, I loved his interview today. He had a really good interview. If you guys haven't seen it already, go watch the interview for Drew Dober. He had a good one. All good things. Like, this is a great spot to be on Drew Dober in. All right, let's do this. Main event of the evening. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. Brandon Moreno is 22-8. He's 22-8-2. He's 31, 5'7", 70-inch reach. Steve Erceg is 12-3, 29, 5'8", 68.5-inch reach. Odds of these two gentlemen, you get Erceg anywhere from plus 200 to plus 205. You can get Moreno anywhere from minus 230 to minus 240. I mean, I'll just go first on this one. I am on Steve Erceg. I don't understand how this fight isn't a pick'em or maybe, I don't know, Erceg plus 125 at most. Realistically, looking at this fight, I mean, Moreno is what, 0-3 fighting in Mexico. He doesn't perform well in front of his home crowd. His margins are relatively thin. I mean, we're talking about Steve Erceg. If he doesn't shoot that takedown in his title fight, we'd be looking at the champ right now. In Erceg, he's good. He cracks on the feet. He's got great boxing, good counters, good striking, good cardio, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu. You can't say enough about this guy. And I bet Royval against Moreno at the same odds when they fought, because just the mentality and the same is that you're getting a top 5 flyweight at plus 200. That doesn't make sense because flyweights are probably the most skilled, the most technical out of any other weight class, and especially in the top 5, the margins of error between each of them are so small. I don't know how you could justify a 33% win rate for Erceg here. You at least got to make him plus 125. So it's me telling you got 75 cents of value. Erceg's got to be the side. He could get a knockout on Moreno because we know how hard Erceg hits. Not likely though. Moreno's got a damn good chin. Moreno could wrestle. They both got good BJJ. I think this fight goes to distance at a pretty high clip. And at that point, like going to a decision, I kind of favor Erceg to win 1 through 3 and then cruise through 4 and 5. I think Moreno probably would win the later rounds, if anything. But I don't know. This is going to be a really good fight. I think it's going to be very high level, but I don't know how you can justify plus 200 on either fighter or minus 200 on either fighter. It's got to be a straight pick 'em, and for that reason, I'm taking the plus 200 dog with Steve Erceg. What do you think, Dravhy?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the market just did a full 360. People were high on Moreno, on Erceg for after the Pantoja fight. He was a big favorite against Kai, and then he got caught. He got knocked out. He had the 50-50 fight with Pantoja, like you said. And now Moreno, after going into the Albazi fight, I bet him there. He was like minus 150, minus 155. People were saying that he was washed, that he was done, and they were done with him. Now, he beat up Albazi, but I always thought he would beat up Albazi, and Albazi also didn't look great coming back after a neck surgery. So there's that. And yeah, so I don't know why people did a full 360 like that. It's just kind of funny to me. And matchup wise, this fight's close. Like you said, it's gonna go the distance. I agree with that. And I think they're both elite. Your mic's doing the same again, Peg. Mute you after the fight. Like it's always some echo. Yeah, I think they're both elite scrambler, and that if they're trying to wrestle, they're not going to be able to hold each one of the other down, and it's going to play out on the feet for the most part. And I really like Erceg striking. I think Moreno is also a very good striker in his own right, but I think that they're going to compete strike for strike. I also believe that the market is overpricing a Moreno KO, which I don't think is going to happen. And I also think that Erceg's going to learn after his last couple losses and be better. So, yeah, I think this line should be way closer than it is right now. And that Erceg is going to get the upset here, get back on track and into title contention. And now you're muted. I fuck your mind now.
All right, Keith, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that this line's probably wide. I do think the Moreno gets it done though. Steve Erceg's striking defense has always been a little bit suspect, even though I think that he's like a very good fighter. But his striking defense has always been a little suspect. That chin has always been up. I think the Moreno can have some moments, especially with the Mexican crowd backing him. I mean, Royval last year. Yeah, that was last year. Royval last year around the same time, I thought beat him pretty cleanly. And that still managed to end up being a split decision somehow. So we could be in a situation like that again. I do think the Moreno, one, you could see his confidence build in the Albazi fight, and I don't think the Albazi fought a good fight at all. And just stared at him as he does a lot of his opponents, to be fair. But you can see Moreno's confidence building. I think that was a get back fight that he needed to get back to that championship form. I think that Erceg, I think this is just an awful matchup, honestly. To get Pantoja, Kaikara, and Brandon Moreno in 3 straight, I mean, that's hell. And I do realize how good of a performance that was against Pantoja. But I also think the Moreno's a much, much better boxer and more comfortable on the feet than Pantoja, especially against a guy like Erceg. So I think the Moreno's jab will be big here. It'll be interesting to see the grappling exchanges because, like Dravhy mentioned, I think they're both really solid scramblers, and I think that Moreno probably could get a couple takedowns, but I think that there's going to be some exciting scrambles here. So for me, it's a pass as of right now. I could understand getting involved on the Erceg side. I see him as a value loser here, most likely, but it's a pass for me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. I mean, at plus 200, it's worth the shot. I put a unit on that. We'll see how it goes. So it's gonna be a tough bout. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a close one. So I'm not gonna sit here saying plus 200.
Probably 3-2 either way. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I don't see either like separating.
Also likes Erceg. I agree. There's a lot of recency bias here. Erceg was out striking
And
Kai.
I'll say also, Erceg before getting caught against Kai, he was looking good. He did clip Kai with some good shots. So
yeah,
like you said, he was out striking Kai. Like that's what. Yeah,
I agree. All right, guys, like, comment, subscribe, please. It's all we ask you do for the show. Get us to 1,000 subscribers. Do we not earn it? Do we not deserve it? I think we do. All right, UFC parlay here. I told you he's Peruvian. There he is with the Peruvian stuff. BTL parlay. Real quick. Job, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to take Edgar Chairez minus 252.
All right, I'm going to take Lazyboy.
He's lost. He don't understand. He doesn't.
How the fuck are you getting to a Lazyboy bet here? I'll say I'll go with Drew Dober. I'm not a pussy.
All right, I'm gonna go with Jamal Emmers.
Nah.
All right, then I will do.
I think Lazyboy is fine. I like the parlay, to be honest.
Well, between Lazyboy and I guess it'd be between Lazyboy and D-Rod. Which would you rather have? They're both around the same odds.
I mean, Key doesn't like. He doesn't like. We can go see Rod if you want.
Yeah, just go see Rod.
All right, let's go see Rod. This maximum that plays retarded. No, we're not on Lazyboy. We need the graphic.
No graphic this week.
We're doing C-Rod. We're doing C-Rod. The gas pack wanted the Mexican parlay. All right, what are the odds in that draft? All combined?
It's plus 305.
Plus 305. All right, so it's C-Rod minus 170. What is it?
Dober minus 120 and Chairez minus 252.
All right, there you go, guys. That's the show. I'm Pegasus Picks. Follow the Telegram. It's in my bio on Twitter. That's what I got for you. Like, comment, subscribe. It's all we ask. I can turn this shit off. We're gonna start doing that when we do the BTL parlay. Who do you guys got? OddsShopper. You guys know the deal. Screenshot the subscribe button. Go to Key's thing. He's got shit in there. Drav's got shit in his bio. We all got shit in our bios. Also, all the links are right below this video. Just join. They got deals every week. There you go. Right.
I mean, the first thing you should do after this video is fix my link because my link is not even working.
No. Don't tell me to fix your link. You fix your link. Me and Key's link works every single week. The only person whose link doesn't work is yours.
Yeah, that's because it's fucked up, but it'll work in my bio. So you're doing something not the right way because in my Twitter bio, it's still there. So
it's because your link, when you post it, copy and paste, it goes your link and then ... It's a long link. So every time I try and copy and paste it, it leaves the ... and it's not the hyperlink. Like he is short, mine is short, so it copies it all.
You look at him, he's just explaining us all old he is right now because I had no issues putting in my Twitter bio one time and I'd never had to do it again. But for some reasons, you can do it right.
Oh, wait. Yeah, go click his he says his link is perfect for me.
Really? On this video, on this description, because if so, I just tried and it didn't work for me. If you go like there on the video below and you say Dravhy OddsShopper, you click on it, and you try to open it, it's going to say, oops, that page was not found. But anyway, hit me up on Twitter and I'll cook something for you for this
No, I
card.
got it already. Oh yeah, oops, page not
And
found.
yeah,
I'm saying that
already
now.
play a big bets on a decent size underdog for the next week card. So there's that if you want to join and get some line movement with me. And I like the next card a lot. Already started working on it because this card is done and final for me. So working on the next card, which is a very good one.
All right, so everyone is saying it says page not found. All right, maybe I'm in the wrong here. Drop, get me a link, a good working link, and I'll put it in the bio below. That's what we'll do. And then he says KO1. Yeah, right, bro. Drop gets sub so easy. It'd be easy money. All right, guys, that's the show. Let's make some more money in Mexico, and we'll see you next week.
Key, you don't have something to say, bro?
Oh yeah, Key, you got anything to say?
Hey, same old, same old. We're on a little bit of a winning streak right now. Get in. I already put in a bet for next week too. Putting out some more stuff for this week. So good time to get in.
All right, that's the show, boys. We'll be recording next week since we're in the Apex, and then I'm going to Miami for the card. So we'll get you some content. I'll be there live. Maybe I'll jump in the cage. Who knows? All right, we'll see you guys soon. Peace.